Alright, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom, wa abba. So I have a channel on TikTok, which I don't really do videos. It's more posts of news reports and the posts that I put on YouTube, and it's Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai at for the elect of Israel. You can scan this and it'll take you there. But like I said, I just post articles with Bible verses, and then you could get to my YouTube page here. You push this button here, and it'll take you to my link to the YouTube channel. All right. So that's the main point of this, is to funnel them to the YouTube channel, and like once again, it's for the elect of Israel. But I was noticing that because I saved a couple videos to do sit downs on, and I noticed this video was blocked right with this you can't see image, and I didn't remember which one it was, but it says sensitive content. I'm gonna watch anyway, but it's a video of Rodney Hinton Jr. Rodney Hinton Jr. Which this is showing you the hatred that the so-called white race, the red devils, the wicked that rule the world, the hate that they have for us, the Israelite, which is a perpetual hate. All right. And this shows you that even these Moabites that claim they own TikTok, all right, the so-called Chinese, they're in obedience to Edom. Because why would they block this video? There's nothing really disturbing about it, but a so-called Negro showing another so-called Negro, consolidation while he's being tried, which really what he did in the eye of the Lord was righteous. All right, now in the world it may be wicked because, of what he did, because it went against the system. But in reality, what he did was righteous before the eye of the Lord. All right, this was the Lord. All right, because this is how you answer to a situation like that in biblical times.
I know it looked like law enforcement or police that showed up to that court hearing for Rodney Hinton, but it's really not. It's the Triple K Mafia and skinheads showing up to a public lynching execution the same way that they did back in the 20s and 30s.
And I just wanted to say, the Triple K Mafia, it's actually a Greek word, Ku Klux Klan, which it means a people that go in circles. All right, those are the original Greeks and Romans, the so-called Caucasians, which when you look in this image, you can see that they are red.
For those of you who are old enough to remember the Rodney King riots, if Rodney Hinton is found anything other than innocent, you are going to see an unleashing of a storm that has been brewing in America for 60 plus years.
Which he is right, all right? The pride of these Edomites, the so-called Caucasians, all right, it's going to lead into their demise. It says in 2 Ezra 15, verse Well, let me get verse 10. It says, Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, which they slaughtered his son. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, which were in bondage. That word Egypt is Greek for bondage. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, which he's going to violently take us from Edom, and smite Egypt, which is destroy the kingdom of Edom, with plagues as before, and will destroy the land thereof. So he's not going to just destroy, the king and the army like in Egypt. He's going to do it again, but this time he's going to destroy everything of Edom, all right, which is the modern day Egyptian who has the Israelites in slavery, all right. Now I'm going to jump down. It says in verse 14, Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword, which the so-called white man, the red devil the Bible speaks of, is a weapon of a mass destruction. All right, that's why they're the main ones that go in there and pop a place with a hammer. If you get what I'm saying, they'll go up and take everybody. Here in Colorado, in the Walmart, we don't really shop there because we're out in the country now. But the Walmart, it was I think it was Thornton. I know it happened in a couple Walmarts because my brother-in-law was the management of security, and he was telling me, like one dude went in, snatched a little girl up, took her in the middle of a clothes rack, and then set it on fire with him in it. Another one was an Edomite. This was a little while back now, though. But he just went in there and he just started popping all the northern kingdom he saw, right? He started taking them out. I know in Colorado Springs, you had an Edomite shoot what is it? Planned Parenthood, So the Edomite, even the so-called FBI, said that the Caucasian is the great threat to America's safety. All right, because they're going to come down with great wrath knowing that they have but a short time. Okay, so it says in 2 Ezra 15, verse 14, Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword, that so-called white man, and their destruction draweth nigh. And that's what you're seeing. All right, they're growing weak, and you're seeing that Jake and other nations, all right, that they're rousing up against the Edomite. Now we're to wait and remain peaceful. If you believe in the scriptures, you believe in the prophecies, Yahweh Shai is going to avenge us. Yahweh, he has put the plan together to drop nuclear missiles upon the head of these devils and their kingdom, right? Using their allies and their enemies in their hands, right? Because he controls the hearts of the kings. It says, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, which is weapons of war. For sedition, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one and another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So the Lord's going to put it in them to want to fight the law enforcement. Go after the leaders that make these laws, these outrageous laws that they have. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because it will be martial law. Look what's going on in the border of America and Mexico. You're about to have a straight up war like what's going on in Gaza. It says, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Because you're going to have war in the streets of America and throughout the world, which is going to lead to America being destroyed with nuclear missiles after they make it mandatory for buying and selling that everyone has to have an implantable microchip. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So, the police, they were used as a weapon formed against Jake, right? Because we're put here in slavery, and police officers are slave catchers, right? From the past, they just call them police officers now, but that's why they called the police vehicle a paddy wagon, all right? And everybody knows that these people are the most violent people in the community, all right? The skinhead, that has a badge, and it's going to get real bad out here. That's all I got to say. According to the prophecies, it's going to get real bad. It says the men of war are going to be like women. And when I seen what they did, going over there, they were afraid. I think they were more afraid than mad. The anger came from the fear, I think. That it hit them that during a time where the whole city could tear these badge-wearing skinheads apart. You know what I'm saying? So it says in Jeremiah 51 and 30, the mighty men of Babylon, which is its enforcement, have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might has failed. It says their might hath failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken, which they won't have no defense against what's coming. The Lord is the one that controls you, whether you are able to act when there is danger. So the Lord is telling you that this place is down. It's done, man. It's done. All right? They can't protect themselves. They can't protect this country. They cannot protect what they built, this beast system. All right? The Lord is coming to destroy Edom and his beast system. That's the whole point of Yahushua. All right? Yahushua coming to destroy the works of the devil. 1 John 3. Now, all we got to do is wait because we're the witnesses. All right? We don't trust in our sword or in our bow. We trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It's in 1 John 3. It says in 1 John 3 verse 5, and ye know that he was manifest to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. Let me read that again. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth Whosoever sinneth had not seen him, neither known him. All right. Little sons, which is because we're a small number of Israelite men, let no man deceive you. He that doth righteous is righteous, even as he is righteous. So what that man did, all right, before the Lord is righteous, even though the laws of this world, which this world is a wicked world, ruled by the wicked Edomite, the red devil, all right, says it was wicked, all right, he was righteous to take vengeance, all right, it was his to take, all right. It says he that committed sin is of the devil. For the devil, like these fucking rappers that sacrifice their sons to the idols of Esau, all right, you're the devil, all right, because you do the works of the devil. It says he that committed sin is of the devil, are these cops. You got Jake that go up into I got a cousin, and pretty much as soon as he became a cop, he said, fuck all of you. Because now he says he has a new family, which are a bunch of fucking racist Edomites. See? So you got Jacob there thinking that they're accepted by these Edomites. But they show you on the movie Purge what these cops are into. All right? It says, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of Yahweh, which is Yahushai, was manifested that he might destroy the works of the devil. See? So in the Lord's eyes, he did right, you know? It wasn't like he didn't, you know, he took it out on someone else of their party. He dealt with their group and their party, you know, which they're a bunch of badge-wearing Nazis. All right, it says, whosoever is born of power does not commit sin. All right, but now for us, the hopeful elect, to do that, that would be sin, because we're not here to do that. The 2/3, the thing with the 2/3 is that Esau created these monsters by leaving them alone with their menstruous mothers, taking the fathers out of the house, right? Feeding these Jake nothing but fucking GMO artificial flavors, right? Just cranking down trap music down his neck. Now Esau is gonna have to deal with this. All right, Esau is gonna have to deal with these monsters, these reprobate, lacking judgment Israelites. All right, what you like to call a young nigga. All right, they're built for destruction, and that's what they're gonna bring upon this society is destruction and Jacob's trouble. You're gonna be able to go into their neighborhoods and start destroying them, but eventually you're gonna rouse them up to where they tear you apart. All right. And I've seen it. I've seen it on the app of Elon Musk. It's called X. You could watch it. You know, it's a violent app. And it shows you, man, when Jake grabs an Edomite, man, they could tear him apart like lions. You know, it ain't by accident that the Apostle Tahar start calling these reprobates hyenas. Because what are the enemies of a lion? Hyenas. Because they're scavengers. The lion, you know, the lioness hunts sometimes the male, but then you'll have the hyenas come in and try to take that shit. You see? So that's what these reprobates are. They're going to come into your stores. They're going to destroy them, burn them down. All right? They're going to celebrate it in the parking lots. And then you're going to go in there to try to stop them. And these Jake that you have out here now, these reprobates, they got fully automatic weapons. They got rocket launchers, which Edom given them. This is how you know it's of the Lord. Why would you give your enemy weapons to fight you with? You know what I'm saying? Just like they did to China. Who made China strong? It was the Edomite under Bill Clinton. See? So the Lord has Esau in a delusion, which his pride makes him drunk. All right, and the Lord's going to bring him down. All right, with the same things that he has in his hands that he used to take this earth in violence is going to bring him down. It says, whosoever is born of Yahweh, our power, through his son Yahushai, and you listen to the Holy Spirit, which comes out the mouth of the prophets, and glorifies Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, does not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, your seed of faith, and he cannot sin, because he is born of power, which he becomes a teacher. Let me show you. That word God there, it says Dios. Dios is a Greek word for the Elohim, all right, which are empowered with the counsels and interests and things due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We are his representative on earth. We are the magistrates and judges of the kingdom of heaven. All right. So that's what happens. You come into this truth all right, and then you are born again, and you're born again to be a judge in keeping the law of the Lord, meaning we go over this day and night. We're always meditating on these scriptures day and night. Just like in the world, if you were, before you become a judge, which their system, their judicial system is built backwards in our image. That's why it's called judicial, Jew, all right? Talking about the Jew, all right? And then the law, all right? The lawyer, Lawaya, all right? Which is Levi, the priest, all right? So Esau's a counterfeit, and his system's a fucking counterfeit, all right? But whosoever is born, all right, of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, in the nation of Israel, being born again, all right, did not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, his faith, and he cannot sin because he is born of power, being an Elohim, an elect. See, born again. Put off the mortal for the immortal. See? All right. So with that, I just give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakakwadash. Double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba.